Big 12 may be ready to pounce, according to Marchand and Ourand's sports media podcast that was just released this morning. We're going to be giving you a link to that podcast in the description box below the video. We're going to give you the timestamp of when they talk about the current Pac-12 negotiations. And no, it's not going good for the Pac-12. We're also going to be going through Jon Wilner's article of yesterday. We just didn't have enough time last night in our live show or yesterday afternoon, but we're going to be going through it today. There's things I agree with, things I disagree with. Put down your comments on what you agree and disagree with in the Jon Wilner's article. Welcome to a stacked show, episode 140 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We love everything in college football. It's why we cover everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's get to the Jon Wilner article first. We're not going to go through the whole thing. This was yesterday. Jon Wilner talks about within the conference their negotiations, about the type of media deal that works best, how much emphasis should be placed on chasing revenue, how much for visibility. The ideal media contract for one school may not sit perfectly with another. But inside the Pac-12 boardroom, there is a hierarchy that must be managed and navigated. Jon Wilner goes through the fact that the Stanfords, Washington State, and Washington's presidents, they are the executive committee. They steer the agenda. With all negotiations, the goal is to aim high, but know the market, and that's not always easy. And then Jon Wilner says that the market has shifted over time for the Pac-12. Jon Wilner goes in the article and says when after the Big Ten made their deal, Hotline valuated Pac-12 as $35 million to $40 million per school. The Big 12 valuation was $38 to $42 million per school. Jon Wilner then goes on and says, but the landscape changed dramatically. The Big 12 prioritized security over cash, opting to renew its partnership with ESPN and Fox instead of waiting a year to hit the open market. We at Peek Around the Corner disagreed with Jon Wilner when this happened, and we definitely disagree now. We don't think the Big 12 prioritize security over cash. We don't think the Big 12 would get more cash if it waited a year from now. And I think the economy tells that story. The media market is shrinking. It's contracting. The sports media bubble isn't popping, but it's definitely contracting some. The advertising rate buys during the live sports content is dropping here in 2023, early in 2023. You're seeing layoffs happening. No, it was a brilliant move for Brett Yormark to be able to move up, to be aggressive, to move up that from 18 months to move up his negotiations inside the exclusive window with Fox Sports and ESPN, get it all the way before the Pac-12 and to get the deal done. So we don't think Big 12 prioritized security over cash. We think he got it both. Security, cash, and the best exposure the Big 12 could possibly get. We'll get further into the article here. The resulting 7-year deal, reportedly worth $31.7 million per school per year, made sense given the league's past, but it undercut the Pac-12's negotiation position. We don't think it's the Big 12's fault here at Peek Around the Corner. They did what they had to do. We don't think Pac-12's valuation changed at all. It's just because the Big 12 moved up and got their deal. Pac-12's leverage was very slim to begin with. It didn't get worse. It was always not very strong. Now, the Pac-12, because they waited, now they lost some of the best slot windows with Fox Sports and ESPN. And let's get back to the bottom, the last part of this article. By renewing its deal with Big 12, ESPN positioned itself to get two conferences on the cheap. The house always wins. That said, it was unrealistic to expect the Pac-12 to finalize a deal in early to mid-fall. The Big Ten, which also sought new media partners on the open market, required approximately 6 months to complete the deal. Again, respectfully, Peek Around the Corner, we disagree. You can't compare the two, the Pac-12 negotiations and the Big Ten. The reason why it took the Big Ten 6 months is because they were expanding. USC and UCLA called the Big Ten. They were negotiating for months, and then it was announced on June 30th. So they had to revamp everything. The two cannot be compared. The reason why the Pac-12 hasn't made a deal done yet, it's not because they were waiting for Deion Sanders to become the head coach of Colorado, which George Kliavkoff inferred in an interview. It's not because they were waiting for UCLA to get the finalized judgment from the University of California Board of Regents on December 14th, because George Kliavkoff should have been negotiating with potential future media partners with the scenario of UCLA being in the conference and UCLA being out of the conference. None of these excuses hold up. The reason why the Pac-12 hasn't gotten a deal done yet is because George Kliavkoff has not gotten the offer that's good enough for all the Pac-12 presidents to sign. That's the reason why a deal hasn't been done yet. Okay, let's get to the Marchand and Ourand podcast. I'm going to provide a link. I want you to listen to all of it, but especially in regards to the Pac-12 current negotiations, timestamped of the 30-minute and 50-second mark to the 33-minute and 40-second mark. Marchand talks about how he doesn't think it's really going in the direction that's good for the Pac-12. Amazon doesn't need tonnage, Marchand says. They're only looking for the top type of content that the Pac-12 can provide, the Tier 1. ESPN has interest in Pac-12 media deal to be involved in it, but they do not have the need. Marchand also talks about how between Fox and Pac-12 there is bad blood because Fox Sports was so instrumental in poaching USC and UCLA out of the Pac-12 into the Big Ten. If Fox Sports gets part of this deal, it will be a Fox-friendly deal. In other words, Fox will get Pac-12 content on the cheap. Marchand also talks about the possibility of Apple and Turner potentially getting into the deal. Maybe. Not the greatest chance, but they could get into the deal. Pac-12 is not in a good position. And then they went on at the 33-minute and 40-second mark. Marchand says that the Big 12 may be ready to poach. The Pac-12 has to watch themselves, has to watch the Big 12, that the Big 12 may be ready to poach. This is the perception of Marchand and Ourand. Don't take it lightly. You know who they are. They're from Sports Business Journal. Listen to it yourselves. The Pac-12 negotiations are not going good. They had a quarterly meeting, moved up until last Monday here, a couple days ago. Put down your comments in the comment section below the video. Big 12 may be ready to pounce. It's not the Big 12's fault, the position that the Pac-12 is in right now. This is at the feet of Larry Scott, and now at the feet of George Kliavkoff. Kliavkoff, you need to get a deal done sooner rather than later, because the great unknown, which Marchand and Ourand also talked about in their podcast, the great unknown, this vacuum, it's going to be filled by somebody. Make sure it's you that you are filling it, George Kliavkoff. Do not let Brett Yormark come through the back window. Big 12 could be ready to pounce. Until next time. From all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.